I'm Ira Green from Kingsbury, Texas with Flying G BBQ. You're watching live on the Smokin Gooder Show. So Smokin Gooder Show. I fucked that all up. Ira Green with Flying G BBQ from Kingsbury, Texas, watching live. Ira Green with Flying G BBQ from Kingsbury, Texas, and you're watching the So Smokin Gooder Show.
All right, that is right. Ira Green from Kingsbury, Texas. Thank you. You are watching and listening to the So Smokin Gooder Show. We're glad that you have joined us. I don't know what Case is doing, but Case is going somewhere, but we're all right.
I'm back. We're good.
Welcome in, Case. Welcome to another edition of the So Smokin Gooder Show. My name is Robert Rocha, and I'm coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas. We're going to have another great show for you tonight. We got Lee Hickel from Redmule's Badass Barbecue to start it off. And we got two guests tonight, Case. We got a second guest in the second part of the show, Mr. Joey Machado, now with Blues Hog, sauces and charcoal. We'll have Joey on here to wrap that up. But thanks for tuning in. This is we're on a roll, Case. This is like number 7 in the first of the year, and here we are in March. Welcome to March, by the way. Things are warming up around here. A lot of contests are starting to appear all over the map. I know we're going to talk to Lee. He's doing an East Coast tour, which I'm very eager to hear about. But yeah, contests are opening up. Texas is opening up. It's a fun time to be a barbecuer. How are you at, Case? What do you think, Case? Let me introduce my show partner, Mr. Case Hahn. What is up, Case?
What's going on, everybody? Glad everybody's joined in with us tonight. It's wow. It was a year of talking about all sorts of things, and so hopefully we're turning the corner. I don't want to jinx us, but yeah. Thanks for joining everybody tonight. Awesome to have Lee and Joey coming on tonight. Some news in the barbecue world, obviously, that broke a couple days. Just glad to be with you. Kind of run a little bit behind. Typical. I was about 15 minutes ago. I was in the middle of doing something else, so I'm still here and excited. So,
Case, you seem a little flustered. You seem a little flustered right now. What's going on there?
Because on the other side of this camera is a table full of crap, spices and everything. Because after like a year and a half of taking off, I'm going to attempt to knock off the dust in Sinton this weekend at IBCA event. And so I'll be on the road tomorrow and headed that way. And so if you're cooking Sinton, put some comments out there. We'll say hello. I should make it by the cook's meet. It's like 8 o'clock. And so I have a very condensed schedule to make it down to Sinton for the event, but looking forward to seeing some cooks and doing some cooking. And so haven't done it forever. And judging by the look in my garage, you can tell I haven't done this in forever. So, but we're going to see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. You gearing up for a contest, which is fascinating to me because, like you said, you haven't done it in a little bit. But I just want to touch on last week's show with Joey Smith from Texas Chrome Barbecue and Texas Chrome Heroes. Man, that was a great show. He had us all in the fields, as we were saying last week. But the message was awesome, and what all the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation is about. It was great to have him on the show, and I want to thank Joey again for coming on the show and telling us all about the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation. What did you get out of that show last week, Case?
Man, that show was great, and it's a great foundation. We've got a great event coming up for that foundation and IBCA at the barbecue store. Of course, the barbecue store being a sponsor of the show. In true cook-off week fashion, Monday morning, I was online putting a list together of all of the things that I need. And in amazing barbecue store fashion, everything was at my house Wednesday. I think I've got everything I need that I didn't already have. But while I was talking to Dustin and the guys down at the barbecue store, I was reminded about their fantastic event coming up the 19th and 20th this month for Texas Chrome Foundation. Let's pack that parking lot there in Hempstead. It's just a fantastic. I sent over the entry fee money. I don't know who it's going to go to, but Katie and is sponsored a veteran to go cook that event. I don't know who it's going to be. I wish whoever that person is a ton of luck. And but I did send. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I did send some entry money. Sounds like Stephen Pfeiffer also did the same thing. So hats off to Stephen. If there's other people that have done it, fantastic. But let's fill the parking lot up with a lot of cooks, a lot of veterans, and just have a fantastic event.
Absolutely. So that was last week's show, and we're again appreciative of Joey Smith for coming on the show. Case mentioned the event that's coming up as well. Thank you to everybody that's watching and tuning in. I can't tell. I'm highlighting some comments. I can't tell if the profile pictures are working. Is it coming up on your end, Case? It's not coming up.
Yeah, I got it. So far, the only comment that I seem to get is Phil Breeden is wondering where his intro video is.
Play the clip. Phil Breeden, yeah, that's par for the course right now. I feel we will play that. Phil, we got you. We definitely got you. But Case, are you going somewhere again?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, Phil. Hey, I just want to let you know I love you.
There you go.
There you go. Fresh from the UPS delivery man this week in the barbecue store. And so,
all right, Case. Before
I'll try not to screw it up.
Before we get too far into the show, how can they hear this if they want to check us out just on podcast?
Absolutely. So wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen to us, I listen to it on Spotify, but whether it's Apple or Android, you'll find us. So Smokin Gooder Show. Just make sure you spell it correctly. If you're in with us tonight, there's about 40 of us on tonight, so that's awesome. Welcome in. Hope invite your friends, make your comments. We'll keep it up. And we'll do our best. We're giving away some Diamond Shine. Last week I didn't do it because last week was a really good show. So let's go have some fun tonight. Fire off some comments. Make fun of me and our Rob preferably. And we'll give away some Diamond Shine for the brightest comment of the night, whether it be funniest, dumbest things, whatever makes me laugh will probably win. And so. But yeah, so join in Facebook, on your phone, in your car. Thanks for joining us, whether it's live or you're catching up with us later.
All right. Phil said he fell asleep waiting for the intro last week. So before I forget, let's play the sponsor intro, Case. Let's do the sponsors. Here we go.
Make it happen.
Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech Grills, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Rick's RV Rental and Repair, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Diamond Shine Cleaning Products, J. Harding and Company, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, and The Barbecue Store. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin Gooder Show.
All right, there it was. Thank you to our sponsors. And yes, I finally got.
Admit it.
I did. Dustin Stanley from the Barbecue Store. He did send me Rick's RV. It's been a rough week. It's been a crazy week. I did not get to upload that, but let's get to Phil's real quick. Phil, here you go, bro. You can go to bed in just a minute. You can go to bed now.
Hey, everybody. Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smokin Gooder Show.
All right, there it was, Phil. Play the clip. It's played. All right. So it's time to bring our first guest on.
Good night, Phil.
Good night, Phil. Good night, Phil. Time to bring our first guest on. He is the 2019 IBCA points champion. He's also the 2020 first runner-up for the IBCA points. He was also 5th at the World Food Championship in 2019. He's also a fellow Team Cosmo team member. Let's bring him on, Mr. Lee Hickel.
What's up, So Smokin Gooder Show?
What is up, Lee, with Redmule's Badass Barbecue? How are you, Lee?
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me on tonight.
Man, we're excited to have you. Where are you right now, brother?
I'm in a little town called Lawrenceville, Georgia. About, 1,100 miles away from Corpus Christi. So here for a case.
Did you go to cook-off right near Corpus Christi this weekend?
Case, I left that one. I left that one for you. Last year I reserved it. Year before I granted it. So go down there and just take the money and trophy. It's all yours, Case.
I am absolutely thrilled that you decided to go travel this week.
Well, I knew you were going to be going to Sinton, my hometown. So go get it. That's a great cook-off. It's the American Builders Association. Great call. So yeah, ABC.
So Lee, you're in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
It's your second round in Georgia, right?
It's my second round. The first time was in Augusta, Georgia, a few months ago.
Yeah, yep. And then you were in.
Then I was in where was I? I was in Young Harris, Georgia, up in the Appalachian Mountains, just a few months. Actually, about 3 weeks ago. 22 degrees, a couple inches of snow.
You were just in somebody's chop shop.
I was there 2 weeks ago. I was in Zebulon, North Carolina, outside of Raleigh, for a doubleheader.
There's a story. I couldn't figure out from your video why you were in somebody's chop shop, but explain to everyone before I make fun of the location of the State Mechanics machine shop that you went to.
Yeah. So I had to tag it where I was. So we're in Zebulon, North Carolina. North Carolina is a blue state. The governor actually had no more than 10 people for outside activities. So the original location, they had to 86. It couldn't do it. So a man jumped in and said, hey, let's go ahead and use my property. I got, 50, 60 acres, plenty of room. Well, the week before the cook-off, it had 10, 12 inches of rain. So everything flooded. So we had to consolidate 21 teams into like 35 by 35 yard square. And it was very, very, very tight. But also on that property is they do like undercoating, spray, bed liner. So that warehouse was where they do bed lining spray. Yep.
So you got a big brisket walk and a new bed liner is what I'm getting at.
Hey, it was worth the trip up there, wasn't it? Amen. Hey, that was a double header. They provided the meat, kind of like they did there for the Chupacabra. For IBCA, they provide the meat. The entry fee was $450 each day, so $900 out of pocket, right? And they provide the meat. It's a ping pong ball draw, and nice. you pick your meat. And lo and behold, Lucky Charms Phil Breeden, he found out I'm doing an East Coast tour, so he hooked up with me and said, hey, if you bring my drums, carry them in your porch trailer, can I fly into a major city airport? You pick me up, or he'll get a rental car, and let's tag team this East Coast tour. So he's joining the Redmule Badass Barbecue 2021 KCBS East Coast tour, and I'm happy to have him coming. Matter of fact, he's already landed at the airport in Atlanta. He should be here pretty shortly.
Who's picking him up?
He got a rental car. They're having a kids queue, so Reed will be cooking here for a kids queue this weekend.
Oh, very awesome.
Yeah,
very awesome. Hey, before we get into the East Coast tour, let's take it back. So, Case, you and I have been doing this show longer than Lee Hickel has been a competitive barbecuer. So let's take it back, Case. I'm sorry.
What's our excuse is the question?
let's not go there. That wasn't mentioning that, but let's take it back to Lee Hickel. Lee, introduce yourself to some of these guys. We're a Texas-based show, and we have a lot of people from all over the country watching, all 41 of them. But tell us, your story and how you got started in this thing. And I do have some questions for you, so let's go.
Of course. My name is Lee Hickel. I am with Redmule's Badass Barbecue. Redmule has been my nickname for 20 plus years. So my name, Redmule's Badass Barbecue, does not mean I have badass barbecue. It's a play on words. Redmule and badass, one of the same, mule and badass. So I did compete for my very first IBCA cook-off in 2016 in Raymondville, Texas. It was a Cops for Tots in December. I did not know what IBCA was. I just saw it was a local cook-off about an hour and a half from my house. I drove down to it, and I had my Pit by JJ bumper pull and a pop-up tent and my pickup truck. So I slept in my truck, all that. I came in almost dead last, but I did walk in third place in the margarita. So apparently I make a pretty good margarita. But because I came in dead last, I was pretty much embarrassed. I thought I did pretty good food. So now let's fast forward to a few more weeks to January of 2017 in Corpus Christi was the Nueces County Junior Livestock Show and Rodeo Barbecue Cook-Off. Apparently it's a huge cook-off. Never heard of it, never have been to it, never barbecued my entire life until a few weeks prior to that in December. The Lord does work in mysterious ways. God is always good. So I signed up for amen. He put me at the right place at the right time to get me where I am today. So I signed up for the livestock show and rodeo. I pull up, pay my entry fee, and they put me in spot like 15. Little did I know is Matias Serrata is right beside me in 16, and Justin Flores is right there beside him in 17, and beside him is Hector and Roel Villanueva, the killer V's from the Valley. Keep in mind, I have no idea what IBCA is. I don't know who these people are. Never seen people my entire life. I was just overwhelmed on how many people were at this cook-off. So I'm a social butterfly. I walked up to Matias and Justin Flores and met my way over to Hector and Roel. And hey, we do barbecue church, come meet us at 6 o'clock. We'll do church and fellowship, I'm like, great. What a good little community. Now come Saturday cook-off, go to barbecue church, come back. I cook all my food. I thought I was spot on perfect. I was injecting parquet butter and syrup in my brisket. I thought parquet butter and syrup, baby. Hey, got to make it good with nothing but seasonal.
If this seasonal ends in a first place brisket call, I'm gonna.
No. Absolutely not. So whenever I was proud of
the syrup in the, I have the syrup loaded. Is this not what we're going with here?
Well, no, cause you better leave that home. No, you can bring syrup to KCBS, but not what I did there in Corpus Christi. So I was proud of my product. So I took my product, my rib over to Roel and Hector Villanueva. I said, hey, can you try my rib? Since I befriended them the night before.
Right.
And Roel said, hey, man, your rib's underdone. I said, that's perfect. He goes, no, it's not good. And instantly I teared up and my eyes were crying. I'm like, what do you mean it's not good? He's like, it's not done. I'm like, 195 degrees is not done for a rib. He's like, no, not for this competition. And I couldn't figure it out. My brisket was a piece of crap. Chicken didn't work out fine. So Matias is like, hey, bro, in Beeville, there's a competition barbecue store called the South Texas Barbecue Emporium. Go there, meet with Reba, James, Rose, and kind of get an idea on what they have. They sell all the ingredients for competition. I'm like, there's a store that sells competition ingredients. Keep in mind, this is 2017, January of 2017.
Chris Main said, was that pre-internet?
Basically, it was. I had AOL dial-up. You can hear it spinning to get to the internet. So lo and behold, I went up there Monday, and I'm at the South Texas Barbecue Emporium shopping around, and James Somali is there. He's kind of giving me some pointers for being the new guy. And who walks in? Matias Serrata.
Nice.
And he's like, man, you look real familiar. I'm like, yeah, I met you this weekend at the cook-off. So from there, barbecue formed a family and a bond, right? So James said, hey, Danny Patton's got a class coming up. It's going to be here. You want to take his class? I'm like, there's classes for barbecue? I didn't even know that even existed. Why do you have to take classes? He's like, well, you want to be better, right? How'd you place in Corpus? I'm like, dead last. He's like, well, take Danny Patton's class, who's a one-man pit builder. So I signed up for it a few weeks later, and I took Danny Patton's class. Mind-blowing. I'm like, I didn't even know that's how you can do meat. Trim? Why do you trim your brisket? I thought you just cooked the whole Packard, all 18 pounds of it, 4 racks of ribs, 5 chickens.
Call Andy. Andy ships them to me.
Same here. So I have learned a few lessons during all this process. So I took Danny's class and went to Grinnell Hall up in Yorktown, Texas, and I ran his chicken for the first time. And damn, I got a first place chicken. I'm like, yeah, there is something to this. But you have to understand, I didn't know what IBCA was. I didn't know there was a competition tour that went around the area. I was so new at it. And I was just overwhelmed by how many people would show up week after week at these cook-offs. So at the end of the day, I was like number 1,000 on the IBCA rankings. You can scroll down and see where you're ranked. Right. I think there was 12 or 1,300 teams, and I was like number 1,000. So I'm like, I've got to get myself better. What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. That was in 17. Well, when I started to pick up a little bit of momentum, I finally broke the 1,000 ranking mark. August 25th, 2017, Hurricane Harvey came. I lost everything I owned. So I had to get my life back together again. So I didn't cook for 10 months. But during that time, I still kind of kept up with the IBCA, the rankings, and people going everywhere. I learned about the website, so I would follow the website. And then I say God works in mysterious ways, because one, Hurricane Harvey came, lost everything I owned. But during that time, Fred Robles, the king, and I give everything I have to him as well, he put on a class January of 2018 in the Valley. I'm like, well, Fred Robles is in Mercedes, Texas. I paid the $1,500. Why not? I wasn't cooking, but I needed some more knowledge to figure out how I can be real good in barbecue. So I did take Fred Robles' class in the Valley. So I took his knowledge, Danny Patton's knowledge, and matter of fact, the week before Hurricane Harvey came, I took Arnie Segovia's class, Arnie Tex in the Valley, a one-on-one. Me and my buddy took a class the very weekend before Hurricane Harvey. When Hurricane Harvey came, I lost my house, lost my business. So everything that I had notes on Arnie Tex, it's probably in your backyard, Case. Who knows where it went? Hurricane Harvey took it and just blew it away. So that's why you should do good this weekend. Did this weekend in Sinton. So I had some good knowledge. Then I took Clarence Joseph's class, Mama and Papa's class. That is one of the best classes you can ever take. And he's got a class coming up pretty soon in Beeville. So I do strongly suggest people to do a one-on-one class with Mama and Papa Joe. Clarence Joseph, excellent class. So I needed knowledge. I was embarrassed from my first cook-off in Raymondville, dead last. I was embarrassed in Robstown, next to last. I needed knowledge. And with Roel, Villanueva, and Hector, Matias, and Justin saying, hey, go to Beeville. There's a competition store. Learn. So I did that, took classes. Now Hurricane Harvey came, lost everything I owned. 10 months later, June of 2018, the last weekend of June 2018, which was only 3 years ago. Not even 3 years ago, right? Because we're in 21.
Right. 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago, there was a Lone Star cook-off in Corpus Christi, Texas. I asked my wife, hey, can I go cook this? It's been 10 months since I've cooked. She said, go cook. I went and cooked it, 41 teams. I grand championed it.
Nice.
So a few weeks later, I get a letter in the mail and an email saying, congratulations, you qualify for the 2018 American Royal. I never heard of the American Royal. I had no idea what the American Royal was. So I looked online, see what it was. I'm like, 4 meats, KCBS. What the hell's KCBS? Had no idea what it was. Well, I went. I paid my dues, paid my fees. I took myself, Tim Lemon, Leroy Adams from Alice, Texas, and Carlos from San Antonio, and my other cousin, Arnold Adams. 5 of us went. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. We got beat up. We got beat up at the American Royal. But that was my first KCBS, was at the American Royal 2018, and I learned of a whole new organization with barbecue. 500 teams, 11 countries. Just an amazing honor just to get there. So now we come back. During that time, July 1 starts the new IBCA cooking year. So it's July 1, 2018, which is the 2019 season for IBCA.
Right.
Is when I really buckled down. And between KCBS and IBCA, I did 45 cook-offs. And out of those 45 cook-offs, I had total 9 grands, 8 reserves. So 17 were grand reserve and multiple top 3. So almost half of my cook-offs, I was top 3 for the 2019 IBCA cooking year.
So at what point during this season were you like figuring it out, or did you know things are working out for you? When
I hit my grand champion at the Lone Star event, that's when I knew something was right. So I just pursued it. I felt good about my cook. My meat profile was completely different. I took all the techniques and what I learned from those pros and I formed my own. I'm not a recipe cook. Let me make that clear. You can give anybody a recipe, and you can run that recipe, and you can run my timelines, but it won't always work. You have to use some ingenuity. You have to use your own knowledge of your own pit. I have a pit maker Magnum that I use, and I love that's what I use. The very first time I used this pit maker Magnum was the Lone Star event, and I grand championed it. So I love the pit maker's products, everything about pit maker. It just clicked, Rob. From then on, I felt good about my product. I incorporated all the recipes, techniques, skills, intertwined everything, tasted everything, mixed everything up. Because keep in mind, I mean, just because I have Fred's recipes, Arnie's, Clarence's, doesn't mean I can run just the recipes and win. You're going to have to incorporate a little bit of your techniques and a little bit of what you know on your end as well. You could be overwhelmed by too much knowledge, and just get yourself in a rut. So you're going to have to work it out. So I ended up being number 1 cook of the year, 2019 in IBCA.
Mm-hmm.
I made a lot of money on those 45 cook-offs, a lot of money. And I'm like, because when Hurricane Harvey came August 25th, 2017, I quit taking my guaranteed paycheck so we can guarantee payroll for our employees.
Wow.
We had 2 employees that worked at our office in Aransas Pass, which was a total loss. But they have families as well. They have kids, they have husbands and wives. So I didn't feel like I needed to continue getting my guaranteed payment. Let's keep our employees paid. They're there for a reason.
You're a good man, Lee.
So I quit getting a paycheck. Even today, Rob and Case, I have not received one paycheck from my business. I did real well for 2019 in IBCA. So that was my paycheck. Did very well. 45 cook-offs. I'll tell you, I've said it on Mike Steele's show. Thank you, Mike. On 45 cook-offs, that's with the Calcuttas and everything else, I grossed $77,000. I spent $32,000 in expenses, fuel, food, drinks, and that got me a $32,000 first place chair, and I'm very proud of that first place chair for IBCA. I was $1,099, $1,125. That's about a $43,000 net in IBCA. Cash money. So those people out there who are watching this show, it is doable. If you really focus, pay attention, learn your pit, get your profile down, take classes. 100% you've got to take classes. Nowadays, with the great pros that are out there cooking, if you're still using salt, pepper, garlic, season all like I was, injected with honey and parquet butter, you're not going to get it.
Syrup.
You're not.
Syrup.
I'm
going
syrup.
to syrup tonight.
You got to. It might work, but look, this isn't a pity party. But this was my success story. God put me at the right place at the right time at the Nueces County Junior Livestock Show and Rodeo. I met 4 great people who set me in line. They put me at the South Texas Barbecue Emporium. They got me on the right track. I took the right classes. I did what I had to do. I focused. I paid attention. I quit getting a paycheck. So it comes back around, guys. When you give to others, it does come back to you.
I got a question for you, Lee.
Right?
And I'm always this is a joke, so everybody don't get mad out there. But we talk about the miracles that God gave you in the barbecue world. He gave me Rob Arocha. What's up with that? You got like what? I mean,
Rob might be.
I go to a tailgate and I got Rob and you got this like all-star team and I got Rob and like Mike Wetzel. That's who I got.
Well,
no.
Hey, but this is all.
Sorry, Rob, don't cut me off.
But you know what? Everybody should have little goals. My first goal was to get above top 1,000, and I did. My next goal was, my next goal was just to get a certificate at a cook-off. 10th place is all I wanted was my next goal, and I got it. I was so happy to get a 10th place certificate. No money, but certificate. But you know what? That's an improvement. So just set little goals. And one of my target was Gary Kelly from Road Crew Barbecue from Sinton, Texas. Case, he will be there this weekend. Gary and Ross Kelly, they're very good at all the ancillaries, and they're very good at their barbecue as well. But Gary is a well-known local IBCA cook from Sinton, Texas. Very, very, very reputable in the cooking world.
Yes, he is.
And I wanted to be like him. I needed to beat Gary Kelly, right? Because that was one of my goals, and I did it. I was so happy. It was Gary Kelly, then it was Danny Loetta from Incognito, and then the first time Arnie Segovia, before I took his class, came up to me and said, "How you doing, Lee?" I'm like, "You know my name?" This is 2018 when this is happening. How do you know my name? I'm a nobody, and Arnie Segovia knows my name.
Yeah, I can tell you, Lee. I remember when you pulled in to hold him and hit him, and we were joking before the show when I was talking to you. And the trailer, it glows at dark. It's bright.
I love it. I love it.
It's very bright. Matter of fact, I'm in it right now. So I'm up here in Young, so I don't have to turn it around. But for those of you who,
it glows.
That's a toilet in the front, by the way.
So it's a toilet and shower. But just so you know, right now, it's full of Phil Breeden. It's full of Phil Breeden stuff.
That's Phil Breeden.
Stuff in the bathroom.
Yeah. Sorry, Phil, but your stuff's in the shitter.
I can tell you. So when I saw that rig for the first time, it was a rain. It was holding me, hit him, and I think we were all just trying not to get buried in Pasadena.
Right.
And Phil was over that area. And normally when I see guys that have rigs like that, I'm like, God, man, he's got to been around for a long time. I was like, I feel like I should know these guys. And I met you that weekend, and super personable. And I checked out the trailer, and it was fantastic. And but yeah, I had no idea you've been at it. In that kind of a window. Now, and I do have to ask, because I know we've had guys on here. I didn't know Tyler Cannon worked in a nuclear power plant.
Right.
Robert Smith was a rodeo clown. But when Lee's not cooking, what business are you in? Because that was the other thing that intrigued me.
So my wife and I, we own and operate and manage Rest Haven Funeral Home in Sinton and Aransas Pass. So funeral home, that's what we do.
And so I think the first time I, it's always true. Rob I sell appliances for a living in cabinets. Rob sells big ass cranes, but I think everybody's got intriguing things. And so one of the first things that I said, man, I've got to get a job where I can go. I think I made the comment. I was like, Lee cooked like 40 something events. I need a job where I can do that. What's Lee do? And I was like, nope, I don't think I can do that. That's it. That's where the conversation came from. I was like, man, I've got to get, what field is he in? I've got to get in that field. They said, well, he's got in the funeral business. Like, nope, I'm not going to get in that field.
Not going to do that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But we do have 14 employees. They've been with us for ever. I've been in operation. We built from the ground up in 2006, opened 2007, our first location. And then we built from the ground up in Aransas Pass in 2016, opened in 2017. And then Hurricane Harvey came and totally just devastated the Aransas Pass location. My house in Sinton was totaled, and our funeral home in Sinton as well sustained some intensive mass damage. But we are up and running. Our employees are dedicated. We love every single one of them, and we appreciate everything our employees do for us. They are the face of Rest Haven Funeral Home, and because of dedicated employees that we have, I am able to branch off and pursue this barbecue. It's not just a hobby; it's more of a passion, and I'm blessed.
It's a hell of a commitment. Hell of a commitment.
And the monies I made with the IBCA circuit is what's paying for the KCBS, because I have not found the honeypot in KCBS. Not yet.
But you got a bedliner. You got a bedliner out of it 2 weeks ago.
We'll get to that because we're going to get to Joey here in a minute. But you got some questions. I asked questions for Lee, and people have provided them. What's the biggest advice you would give to someone wanting to get into competitions and or are struggling?
100% pony up and just take a class. Mama and Papa Joe's class is coming up at the South Texas Barbecue Emporium. Clarence Joseph, one of the best classes you can ever take of your life. Or me, barbecuechampsacademy.com,
You have your own class.
I know, but you have to understand.
I know this. Mike,
I know,
but boy, he's got his own class. I know you're watching, Mike. Come on.
That's not how I am, guys. It's not about me. It's about family and who we are.
I've seen the promo, though. The promos, there's flames and shit going off in the background. I'm Lee Hickel, and shit starts blowing up. I've seen the promo.
All that's not free. I pay a big penny every month to have those commercials going, and I'm honored to be part of Barbecue Champs Academy. So whenever I finish first place, Team of the Year, Cook of the Year 2019, Mike Steele came to me and says, "Hey, I got something hot and heavy coming up. I want you to be part of it. Can you?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And that was it. Barbecue Champs Academy, the first ever tell-all online class.
If Mike's watching and he wants to post a link, do it in the comments because Lee Hickel has his own class with Barbecue.
He has his own class. There's explosions and shit. I mean, it's badass. I'm like, I know that guy.
So
this is all
tell us about it, Lee.
So I do teach brisket, chicken, rib, and pork butt. Whenever I filmed the online class, pork butt was an optional meat for IBCA. But I will let you know that pork butt recipe in my online class is the exact same recipes I used at the 2019 American Roll, and I got 5th place out of 500 teams, 11 countries.
Nice.
So I did get to walk up and got my pink ribbon. That was on the open as well.
Case cooked pork butt that year. How'd you do, Case?
Fuck if I know, like 170 shit. I don't know. I hate pork. So,
I hear you. I hear you.
You two can talk. If this is gonna be, you all two talk about pork. I'll be back. And
actually, Case, don't sell. I think you were like 83rd, so don't sell yourself short.
Yeah,
but
I won't let you. But
I didn't get a pink ribbon. I can say that much.
But what was pretty funny is, Rob, you beat me overall by 1. I think you were whatever you were. I was right behind you.
We were 80th. You were 81.
We talked about it on the way home. Yeah,
we were 80th. You were 81, and we were first in party.
Right, first in party. Now, I've had a lot of teams take my online class, and I'm very, very, very appreciative. And I don't ever disclose anybody's names or team names. Sometimes it's kind of confidential or private, unless I get permission or they tell me. But Bo Daniels, and I actually sent you a screenshot, Rob, of what he actually posted online. Bo Daniels. Can you bring it up or you don't have it?
I can't, sorry.
Okay. Bo Daniels was an up and coming cook. He's apparently, according to his text, I don't know everybody who takes my classes, right? And not that I've met everybody, but once you take my class, you're allowed into a private Facebook forum so we can all chat and talk about what's going on. Bo Daniels took my class because after 6, 7, 8 different cook-offs, he was struggling, never walked. He said he came so close. He took my class, and then Rob, I can't bring it up on my phone, but he placed in all 3 meets with 58 teams, the first cook-off ever after taking my class. This is just recently,
right?
And he was 6th place overall. I believe he got all of his money back just from taking my class. Chris Cheney from Houston, Texas. He has spoken in public about taking my class as well. That's why I'm able to use Chris Cheney's name. He took my class, and I remember I never met Chris until just a few months ago, maybe like 2 months ago. But we always messaged back and forth. His first goal was to beat Phil Breeden at a cook-off because Phil was in Region 2, and that's the guy people wanted to beat. So Chris needed to beat Phil Breeden. Chris Cheney took my class. The very next cook-off, I think he got 3rd place overall. Phil may have got 4th or 5th, but since then, so he was happy he beat Phil.
Right.
His very first cook-off. Since then, he's had multiple grand champions, a couple reserves, and top tens from taking my class. That's the important part about. I did it the wrong way. First, I spent too much money buying too much meat. Didn't know about trimming. Just pony up, spend whatever. I'm not just promoting my class, right? Anybody from Barbecue Champs Academy, take their class. Anybody else, you need to take a class though, because with today's game, just going in there with great grandfather's recipes, it's not going to work. The game is different. So I do strongly recommend taking classes, and I strongly recommend using B&B charcoal and briquettes behind me, just so you know. And
there you go.
And you have to use everything Cosmo. Team Cosmo. I should be wearing my sweatshirt. That's bad on me. Hey, another question, Lee. I'm big on Danny Reagan right here. Danny Reagan. I'm big on mental preparation in almost everything in life. How do you mentally prep for each contest? So every Wednesday, I have a routine. This KCBS is kind of throwing my routine off, but for IBCA, every Wednesday is when I really start focusing. I get away from my family. I go on my barbecue trailer, and I always read my notes. Notes on every cook-off. Take notes. Not that it really matters. It does matter, but every place you go to will be all new judges, so you can cook the same recipe. Just because you don't do well that cook-off, keep on cooking the same recipe. But Wednesdays I focus. I start prepping. I start making my injections. It doesn't really phase me if it's a small cook-off or a big cook-off. I just know that I'm going to run my cook, and it's up to the judges. Hopefully I fall on a good table. Just understand that we're not there to go party and drink. I know, Rob, you have the team of the year, cook of the year, and party all the American Roll, but that's a different deal.
Right.
I lost my business, so I really, really, really had to pay attention and focus on how to make an income for myself. So just focus, strategize. Don't worry about who's going. Have the best possible product of meat. Meat Hustler, Andy Lugo. Thank you. I guarantee if it weren't for Andy Lugo and his meats, I will let you know, my first year, 2019, I only cooked Creekstone Prime against the Wagyu, the A9s. I had no problem. I was number one brisket, number one rib, number two chicken in 2019. Shouts out to Seaboard, Prairie Fresh Ribs. I love Prairie Fresh Ribs. Yep. And so I ran. Now I'm running nothing but golds, SRB golds. That's all I'm doing now for KCBS. But just focus, and just enjoy yourself, and go to bed early, and take notes and read your notes every single cook-off, because you can become complacent and skip one technique or one little step, and that'll cost you a grand champion.
Think I might have figured out where we went wrong. Go to sleep early. Party. Right. Damn it, Lee.
Don't do that.
Lord, why didn't you bring me Lee Hickel? I got Rob.
Club Bowl has been shut down for a little while, but go finish your question. I got two more questions, and then we gotta almost kind of wrap this thing up with. We got Joey Machado waiting in the wings. Go ahead. Oh, you were going to say something, but no. I have another question here. What do you prefer more, KCBS or IBCA? I know you haven't done a CBA yet. That was a third one, but.
Right. So I broke ground, cut my teeth with IBCA, and that'll always be in my heart. IBCA definitely opened the doors for me where I am today. So, you can never forget where you came from. And I came from IBCA. I accomplished my goals in IBCA. I broke the top 1,000. I got the top 100. I got my first certificate. I got the IBCA Cook of the Year. I did 45 cook-offs, 2020, I cooked 19 cook-offs. That's all I did, 19 cook-offs with a new scoring system. When they reopened the IBCA, we had like 5 or 6 cook-offs left. I don't even know if I was top 10, but I focused, and I ended up being second overall. So with the new IBCA scoring system, they take your best 12. I think it's 12, right?
Yep.
You don't have to go cook as many cook-offs as I did the first year, but I finished number 1 and then number 2. So I've accomplished what I wanted to do. Now I'm transitioning into KCBS. I like the challenge, and KCBS is a challenge, even though it's 4 meats, but that 4 meat requires 3 or 4 more pork butts.
Right.
So you're adding more meat, more fuel, more everything, more cost. I love IBCA. I'll never not love IBCA. I love everything about IBCA, but my focus now is KCBS, and it's a challenge for me. The transition is going well for me currently, even though we're brand new in the KCBS season. I am ranked number 3 in KCBS. I've got number 1 rib, number 1 brisket, number 2 pork butt, and number 4 chicken.
Damn it,
in
boy.
KCBS. Yeah.
So tell us about this tour. Let's lead that into this tour. You got this East Coast tour. How many contests? Where are you going? I know you've already done 1 in Youngstown, Georgia. I've
done 2. Young Harris, Georgia, and then Zebulon, North Carolina, 2 weekends ago. Right. So I spent $600 just to get my truck and trailer up here just to cook the cook-off in Georgia. And I realized right away that airline tickets are $200 round trip to Corpus Christi or San Antonio out of Atlanta or Charlotte, Raleigh, Myrtle Beach, anywhere. It's cheaper to fly. So I've been leaving my rig up in North Carolina and then flying back and forth. Matter of fact, I flew back last night. So I've had Young Harris, Georgia. Now I've got I had Zebulon, North Carolina. That was a doubleheader. And right now we're in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I have cook-offs all the way going to the end of May. So I'm a Young Harris, Georgia, Lawrenceville, Georgia, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina next weekend, Summerville, South Carolina, the March 19th and 20th. Now I turned 50 March 19th and 20th. So I'll actually be at a cook-off in Summerville, Georgia. Then I'll be home. Then Gadsden, Alabama, 9th and 10th, Roebuck, South Carolina. Then I'm working on Blairstown, New Jersey.
You're not going to be in Shawnee, Oklahoma?
No, no, sir. No, I'll be in Summerville, South Carolina for my 50th. This is an East Coast tour, 2021 East Coast tour. I can't go to Oklahoma, right? So I've got cook-offs going all the way.
Just listening to you talk about the travel, I just want you to know.
So I have 14 cook-offs on the East Coast. That'll put me to the end of May that I'm doing, and then I'll come home and start cooking the Oklahoma, Missouri stats.
Hey, Lee, that's amazing, man, and best of luck to you in all of that. You got a lot of people pulling for you right now in the comments. It's just cool.
Appreciate that.
Your story is very inspirational. A lot of people are out there talking about, hey, they're ready to go. You started this thing, you took some classes, and look at you. Your first year, you won your first full year. After Hurricane Harvey, you wound up winning the 2019 points championship, and that was ahead of some damn good cooks. Obviously, Matias Serrata. I know they were in the top 10. Phil Breeden was in the top 10 that year. Case, right. Were you in the top 10 that year, Case?
I think the one event I did that year, I did finish in the top 10 of the one event I did that year.
All right, there we go.
And just real quick, the doors have opened up with IBCA. IBCA got to go Smokin with Smithfield National Championship. I was ranked 8th going into it, came out 18th. I'm okay with that. I was invited, and I was honored to go cook it. It got me to the World Food Championship 2019. I reserved grand under the legendary Johnny Trigg.
Oh,
I had a first chicken, a second brisket. I needed a 10th rib or better. I think 11th place rib, but I will take reserve grand under Johnny Trigg any day. But that put me in the finals, the top 10. Went to the finals, and I finished 5th overall in the World Food Championship. And IBCA is where it all started from, right? So I love IBCA, and I appreciate everything that IBCA has done. Because of that, the doors have opened up for me where I am today.
So after this East Coast tour, are you strictly going after KCBS, you think, the plan? I mean, obviously, you're probably still going to be in the top. You're going to be in the top 10 or at least hunting it. So
I want top 10 in KCBS for 2021. That's what I want.
Does Bill
You want
Purvis know
number
this?
one, baby. Number one.
I'm not greedy. I'll be happy for any top 10 in KCBS. There's a lot of good cooks in KCBS, and a lot of these guys haven't even turned their RVs on yet. They've been snowed in, bad weather. They hadn't even started cooking. But once they start traveling around and cooking, it's going to be real hard to keep up with them. So that's why I got an early start. So, and Phil Breeden, he is jumping on part of my KCBS East Coast tour. He has 4 or 5 of them lined out. Bill Purvis, he'll be here in about 35 minutes. He drove down, him and his wife, Vanessa. They're cooking this one, and we're cooking Myrtle Beach next weekend. And then they're going to go back and cook Shawnee while I go to South Carolina.
I might fly into Myrtle Beach because I hear that's a nice area.
Yeah, I'm going to the beach house up there. My sister has a beach house that we're going to spend a week at.
You need a box runner? You need a box
Yes,
runner?
sir. Right now, tomorrow. Yep.
Can't be there tomorrow, but that's the best box runner in America right there, Case Hahn.
It's like $156 one way to come to Georgia. I need a box runner for Saturday.
How far is the walk? Because last time Rob made me do a KCBS, turned it like a quarter mile one way.
Luckily, it's only about 30 seconds, but I run solo. So when you have those 2-minute walks, it makes it real hard. You have to have 3 meets done at one time.
All right, last thing.
I want you to know when you're putting your kale or parsley, whatever the salad you're going to put in the box this week, I'll be in your hometown laying that foil out, baby.
It's all yours, Case. Go take it.
All right, last thing. Kevin Caldwell, he's mentioned a couple times. What about, tell us this 13-minute chicken story, bro.
Yeah, it's a true story. So I have a pit maker Grillmeister. It's the before the Grillmeister came out. It was a prototype that pit maker made, and I bought it. It's made to cook 600 plus degrees, hot and fast. So it's the way it's designed. So it's real hard to keep the temperature down. It just takes about a half a chimney of charcoal, and that's all you need to make it cook in. Well, I put a whole chimney in. I wanted to get the grill nice and hot. It kind of like a drum. When you leave the lid off, it's going to get hot. Right. Well, I left the lid open on it, and I went in and I got my chicken all seasoned up, and I turned around. So 11:15 is now before it was 10:45. Chicken on the pit, 300 degrees. Take my class, you'll learn all that. But now I advanced it to 11:15. Chicken on my grill, 11:45. What's up, Kerry? I'm doing a podcast right here. Here's a legendary guy right here, Kerry.
Evening, boys.
Evening, boys. We got like 2,000 people on this podcast.
Cool.
So 2,500. So went out to put my chicken on my Grillmeister. It was over 600 degrees. I put ice on it, cooled it down. Now it's 11:20, and 12 o'clock is chicken turn in. I put the chicken on. By 11:33, that chicken was 178 degrees, and it was done. It was a 13-minute chicken. The skin just boiled right off of it. Looked like a bunch of burnt Rice Krispie treats all over it. Glazed it, boxed it, turned it in. First place chicken.
I'm writing this down. So I need an 800-degree grill, and I need to inject my brisket with syrup this weekend.
That's it. Hey, and the first time I met you at the Hold 'em and Hit 'em, that same thing happened to me as well. I cooked my chicken hot and fast, 120 teams, and I hit a first place chicken at the Hold 'em and Hit 'em in Pasadena.
Hot and fast chicken, baby. Is that in the class? Is hot and fast chicken in the class?
Nope. I was low and slow, make it pretty, but whenever bad things happen, you make it work.
No 13-minute chicken in the class. All right, got it.
But 13 minutes from raw to done, and first place.
And it beat his second place chicken, Kevin.
You have Kevin Caldwell has Holy Smokes has real good products. So he's up and coming. I remember when he wasn't doing real well. He's like the 11th place king, 11th. But now he's come up a long way. Him and his wife have got some good products out. And now look at him. He's kicking ass out there now on the circuit. So I'm proud of him and his wife. They're doing good.
Absolutely. Hey, Lee, thank you very much for coming on the show. Case, you got anything else for Lee?
Good luck, man. Lots of travel.
Thank you.
It's a whole new world out there. And yeah, I promise not to be too hard on you if you end up in another automotive shop for awards. But it made more sense. I was like, how the hell did he go way out there to end up in somebody's body shop? But now I'm glad I have the backstory. And,
hey, Kerry was there in that body shop 2 weeks ago in North Carolina. Yeah. He was there too. So
who's that?
What's your team name?
Hold Your Horses.
Hold Your Horses.
That is my buddy Kerry Chastain from Hold Horses Barbecue, a fellow.
Hold on, let me.
That is What's up, Kerry? How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Rob, how are you?
Good to see you, man. That is a fellow Rec Tech ambassador, Rec Tech instructor as well.
Yeah, I get to teach over there in 2 weeks.
You're gonna teach in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Should we announce it right now? I'll be there in June. Come see us in June too. Yeah, that'll be fun.
You will.
Congratulations, great job a couple weeks ago in what were you in North Carolina?
Oh yeah, up in Zebulon.
I love seeing the first place chicken and first place brisket as well, right?
Yeah, we got blessed. We were lucky.
Good to see you, Kerry.
All right, same here, y'all. Take care.
Last question I got, Lee. You got this pretty sweet pool, lazy river kind of thing going in. I've been noticing on social media.
Yes, sir.
Since you're kind of busy, is it Speedo friendly? And can Wally come? Because Wally was wondering to know if he could wear his Speedo when he comes down from Iowa and float.
Yeah. So it's a 45,000 gallon lazy river, completely heated with a 8-person spa. It's open for business. So when you're down, just go ahead and go over there and can you sweep it for me real quick and vacuum it? Well, then you can jump in it.
Absolutely. Yes, I can do that. You don't have one of those robots? I got robots, Lee. Come on, man.
All right,
no, I've got. Either way, peace out, guys. Thank you so much.
Give a shout out to your sponsors real quick.
Very first and foremost, I've got Cosmo Q. Thank you for your Cosmo products. Just amazing products. Barbecue Champs Academy. Can't say anything else. You got to take the online classes. Actually, Phil Breeden, Lucky Charms. He's been with me from minute one, and I love all of his products. Andy Lugo, Meat Hustler. Thank you, Andy, for all your meats. It's because of you I've become lazy. He trims all my meats for me. Yeah, it's well worth it.
You're talking to the king over there, Case Han.
Yeah, Case Han.
I'm very good at opening Andy's packages.
All right, keep going.
And of course, B&B charcoal. Don't worry about the rumors. They're going to be strong, good, bigger, and better. So B&B's making better things happen. So thank you guys for everything.
All right, there he was,
Good luck, man.
Good luck, Lee.
I appreciate it.
Good luck, man. We'll be following. We'll be following your deal and check in towards the end of this thing. It was great talking with you. Number one, you carried a whole longer than I thought it was going to be, which is amazing, which is awesome, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much, and good luck to you. And we'll be following your East Coast tour.
You got it, guys. Thank you. Peace out, guys.
All right. Thank you. There he was, Mr. Lee Hickel from Redmule's Badass Barbecue. That was pretty awesome, Case. What'd you think of that?
Yeah. I think it's one of those. There's a lot of great takeaways from there. There is resources available to you, and the amazing thing about Lee's conversation when it comes to he mentioned a lot of fantastic classes, and he almost like he didn't want to mention his own. And I can tell you, he's got a ton of resources available on his own class, but he gave shout out to just a lot of amazing cooks that have got him rocking and going in a hurry. And so it is capable. I'm sure the conversation is going to be had inside that, how does he makes money doing this, and it's definitely not a money making event for me, especially after my trip to HEB last night. But I can tell you, but that's awesome to see those kind of stats, and if you put that kind of effort into it, it is feasible. A lot of us, we looked at his calendar that year that he was chasing points, and realized he cooked 40 events, and there's not double hitters that I know of in the IBCA world. So 40 weekends of one sanctioning body, and so I think sometimes we forget that. You and I, you especially do a lot of events, but we do a Lone Star event. We do a KCBS event. He was able that year to chase one sanctioning body. So I'm glad IBCA changed the rules to allow cooks like him to continue to be successful cooks and reward their events, but still give them the opportunity to cook a CBA, give them the opportunity to cook KCBS and chase things, because we should award talent. He did it in 2 years. People forget that. He did it, 1 year we said, well, if I cooked 40 events, well, then he turned around and did it again under the other point system. So, and definitely he's got a lot of his class on Barbecue Academy, I'm sure, has just a ton of knowledge out there. And you're right. And he said it, you just don't go out and copy recipes. You and I have talked about that. We've learned a lot from all sorts of people. You still got to be able to do some of it yourself.
But
execute. The classes, you got to execute, but the classes certainly help just to see other people's techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, before people stop going, we still got another guest. We're still going on. Case, I know you said you got to get out of here.
I told you I was going to, yeah, and then Lee came out.
Lee was awesome. Lee was awesome. So before we got Joey Machado from Blues Hog. He's going to be on in probably 1 minute. But before we do that, we're going to take a break. And I feel like that other guy, right? We're going to take a break. We're going to take not a commercial break. We're going to take a sponsor break. And we're gonna roll Phil's. We're gonna roll Phil's back here. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC BBQ, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech Grills, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Rick's RV Rental and Repair, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Diamond Shine Cleaning Products, J. Harding and Company, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, and The Barbecue Store. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you sponsors. We appreciate that very much. All right, our next guest is...
Wait a minute. Kevin,
what?
I saw your comment.
What was Kevin's comment?
I like my acronym comment. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Our next guest is Joey Machado. He is now with Blues Hog. He's the Blues Hog rep. How you doing, Joey?
Doing good, man.
Joey's been waiting patiently in the green room, in the lobby. We fed him Ritz crackers and water. How were those, buddy?
Yellow peanut M&Ms. He had specific requested yellow peanut M&Ms. It was a pain to sort. Glad we got it done.
No, it was good. I enjoyed listening to Lee. Lee's a good dude. He's come a long, long way in a very short period of time. Very knowledgeable individual. And as a matter of fact, we got Mark Suarez, the one who does most of our videos and stuff like that. He's actually out there in that area. He's out there with Brad Leninger. They're going to be doing some live stuff out in that area. Meanwhile, we're back home. I think there's a little cook-off down at Buck's backyard out in Buda, Kyle, somewhere in there. That some of our friends from Salt Lick are going to be cooking at, and we got some friends in from St. Louis, and I'm gonna go hang out with them this weekend. But kind of one of the deals I've been wanting to come on and kind of talk with y'all a little bit. I think Rob's been kind of up to speed with a lot of the stuff that's been happening with Blues Hog, and one of our main goals was improving our charcoal line. When I came on board with Blues Hog, that was kind of one of my main deals was sauce and seasoning. Solid, but I wanted to, I wanted to increase the charcoal line. So basically what we've done is now, our lump product, which has been out for a long time, is actually, we're got full control over that deal. We're producing more and more of it. We're only going to be selling that in big box situations. It's going to be available at Ace hardware stores. And then the other focus we have is going to be on barbecue specialty stores. One of the biggest problems that's been happening with a lot of the barbecue specialty stores is there's been a lot of product that just hasn't been available to them. There's been a lot of these guys who have been put on the back burner because a lot of these other companies have been focused on, trying to get stuff into big box and not really worrying about these smaller stores. So, for us, that's kind of where my focus wants to be, is we want to make sure we've got a premium product. I don't have any doubt about that. So we have absolutely no problem not having our product absolutely everywhere. The other thing that we've been doing is developing some other products. So we do have a briquette, which just released last month. So we have a brand new briquette. I'll put it up against anything on the market right now. I think it's far superior right now than any other product you can get a hold of. Those are available in Ace distribution. They are in Ace stores, and they are shipping now to independent dealers who have ordered them. So you'll start seeing those all over the place. If you see me around an event, come hit me up, because, we are trying to spread the love out there and get people to understand these new products that we have rolling out. The other thing that we have, which has not officially released yet, but we have a new product. It's an extruded product, which is going to be, it's called a hog log. And that product, I think a lot of people are going to find very interesting. It is an extruded tube product with a hole right down the middle of it, but it's going to be flat-sided. So it's stackable. It is on these two products, the briquette and on the hog log, those products they're going to be all natural, oak-based, a natural starch binder. They're going to be high heat, low ash, very, very mild in flavor. As a matter of fact, on the briquette, and only on the briquette, we actually have 15% hickory dust in there. So to me, it's more of kind of a mild briquette. I think it kind of has more of a kind of a pecan, kind of thing going on, way more so than it does hickory, for sure. But it's really nice, subtle. Again, lights up really easy. And again, it's going to be something that you're going to start seeing a lot of out there.
So Joey, lump charcoal, talk about what's the makeup of lump charcoal? Obviously it's just kilned. You tell me, because a lot of people use that strictly as their wood source. And so you can eliminate buying some wood if you want to get that true wood flavor. Is that correct?
Correct. And there's some, for our lump charcoal, for example, ours is going to be a kiln dried wood already that happens to be carbonized. So our bags are going to be consistent from top to bottom. Are they going to have 6-inch pieces in them? No. Everything's going to be anywhere from about 3 to 4-inch pieces of charcoal in there. But again, this is going to be just a very, very super clean product. Missouri hardwoods is what it is. So you have a little bit of hickory, you've got some white oaks, and some various other little hardwoods that are, just very natural in the Missouri area. When you look at some of the other brands that are on the market right now, so when they talk about like big block lump and, the big, huge, gigantic lump, usually that South American lump comes out of,
Argentina.
Has come out of South America, and it's usually Cabracho Blanco is what it is. And but you have a bunch of different brands who all basically have the same product, comes from the same guys. On the rest of the lump charcoal that you have, aside from like Royal Oak produces their product in the States, majority of. But you have a lot of the other ones out there in the lump product that they're really not kiln dried wood, I guess, if you go into that process of how they make this lump charcoal. So you get a very inconsistent product. So you may have some that is totally carbonized, and you may have some that's almost like a piece of wood. And so basically what it is the way that they do that, especially in South America, is basically all they're doing is they're cultivating, they're cutting wood down out in the field. They're digging a big hole in that, wherever that property is, where they have the guys that are called carabineros in South America. And they've done this for generations and generations. And they go they clear property, cut the trees down, throw them in a hole, light that wood on fire. And when they get to a certain point, they extinguish it, and that's your charcoal. And it gets chunked in a sack and they send it down to Monterey, and it gets put in a bag. But majority of all that stuff that comes from Mexico all goes through Monterey somewhere. And so a lot of times, when you do get a product and you go, hey, half of it was great, and then I had a little bit of it that, again, it wasn't even carbonized. That's the reason why they don't carbonize everything. Most of it is put in green, and that's kind of the way that they derive that product. It's a good product, but again, when you have a simple solution, where you're just cutting it, putting it in a hole, carbonizing, moving it, bagging it, and shipping it, we're not going through the process of a lot of the woods that, like we do, Royal Oak does, some of these other ones. They're actually going through, and it's going through the kiln process where they're actually drying out the wood to a certain degree, and then it goes from there. And I'll tell you, I mean, the briquettes that we have, the briquettes are coming out they're all coming out of Mexico. So, that's the place it is. There's nobody really making any briquettes in the States as far as that goes. But like I said, what we're doing is we're taking control over the quality of this product. We've got plenty of product. We're not overselling it. We're making sure that everywhere that we sell this product, it's available. That's been one of the biggest deals is a lot of people got overextended, throughout the whole deal with COVID and everything else. There's a shortage of product. But now that everyone's getting caught up, for the most part, Texas is opening up as far as, our governor says. So, a lot of people, on the COVID excuse on a lot of that deal, that's kind of over, unless you're importing a lot of stuff like plastics for like jars and stuff like that. There's still definitely some holdup on, products for, the barbecue industry there. Charcoal, there's a ton of charcoal already. The thing is, what's happening right now is you have a few large companies who are cornering the market, monopolizing, however you want to say, with the recent transactions that have happened in the industry. Duraflame's one big company that owns pretty much everybody, so everything from, Western Wood to now B&B, now they also, they have Cowboy Charcoal. They just went on a buying spree, and they just have bought all these different plants, and, they're cornering the market. It just kind of brings me back to, the B&B days, when Duraflame bought Western, that was the opportunity I had. And that's when I actually had approached B&B about, if you're ready to move to that next level, because that was the opportunity that would allowed them to grow. It allowed us to get out there and get in front of everybody. If people can remember back in the day, Western was at every single, major cook-off. They were throwing big parties. They were taking care of cooks. I mean, everybody was Western swagged out, hardcore. When they got bought out, that stuff just came to a screeching halt. It was done.
Yep.
And again, that opened up an opportunity. I got out there with the brand, and we started kind of blowing it up. And again, that was a great opportunity for us.
For B&B.
For me right now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
For B&B, it was.
Right. Correct. At that time. So, now, when I get news like, what's happening right now in this industry, I have to sit back and, giggle a little bit, because this is it's happening again, type of deal. Mm-hmm. And there was, and I have to say that, I feel like, the growth that they had in a very short period of time, I don't know who did that, but whatever. I'd like to think that, I had a big piece to do with that.
If people don't know who Joey Machado is and have never seen him at a contest, this guy is, people are watching, they all know who you are. I mean, you've been to every contest here in the state, in Texas, and all over the United States. I mean, you are there. You are, you're a great ambassador for whoever you work for. Right now, with Blues Hog, and that's what we're talking about. But you were a big part of that growth for B&B Charcoal, and no one can deny that. I mean, no one watching can say that prior to Joey Machado, to you knowing Joey Machado, did you know who? I mean, you knew B&B was, but after that, Joey, you did. And I'll sit there and I'll say that, and I'll argue with anybody out there that's watching me that wants to say differently, that you were a big part of the growth. you were the part of the growth of B&B at that time. And now I'm excited to be talking to you right now and what's going on with Blues Hog. So
we can't ignore the timing, Joey. So with the announcement this week, and I know you're here, and it's a brand that you're not associated with, but I can tell you, the former ties that I had with Card Block, their end game had always been to sell to Anheuser-Busch or somebody down the road, and they knew 5 years into it that Card Block was not going to be the independent craft brewery that they were, and their end game was to find somebody like AB and Anheuser-Busch, take them and go and run. I know you're in a different place now, and you seem happy. It's fantastic products and multiple products that you can go out and support the barbecue community in more ways than just fuel sources. But did you have an inkling that was an end game for B&B? We've talked about this in the past. B&B's the Weimar, Texas, my home county kind of deal. Did you feel like that inside that this was the end game to go be part of Clorox?
I felt like, when I had first gotten on board with them, and we, that was when I first had my very first meeting with them. That was probably one of my questions was, what's the goal? You just want to grow. You want to, whatever, that's family owned company where, it's going to take a lot to do to get out of it, type of deal. After the first year or two, that's when I'd ask once every couple months, are we going to sell? Are we staying? What are we doing? Type of deal, because I always felt like that was going to be the end game. The biggest thing for me was quality. We had to keep quality of the product. We had to make sure that we had availability, and we had to make sure that we had great people who, were ambassadors for the brand. And, that was what my goal was. Again, I stole straight from, Western's playbook as far as that went. I knew what it took to be able to grow the brand. I knew the product was good, although I'm going to have to say that probably over this last year, I've had more people calling me complaining about product quality, and I'm like, dude, I don't have anything to do with any of that. But again, it's part of that deal when, you overextend yourself and, you've got your brands everywhere, but that's what happens in these types of business. When you start seeing companies take moves to go, to try to get into every single place they can. And, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, so, if you want it to look really nice and look like you're everywhere, you're going to do two things. You're either going to take over the market, or you're going to become a big pain in the ass for some of the big players in the game that just want to get rid of you. So they're either going to crush you or they're going to buy you. That's it. So I don't know. I'm glad for the family. I'm glad for the Kinder family that they got to sell out. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. I understand that Travis is going to stay on for a year or two or whatever, and they're going to continue to run the operations that they are. But I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen in 6 months from now. We're entering into summer, fall. We already know that, it's going to be busy. Barbecue's been busy since way before COVID. COVID just helped us get busier. For the guys who are prepared, we started building our products for this year in last January. So, we had an uptick on this game because we were already building product. We didn't want to go start selling product until we had product, put it that way. Yeah. We knew that it was going to be a successful product line, but we didn't want to go out there and sell something that we didn't have. And we didn't want to go try to sell it to everybody because we're not at that level yet. And so now, like I said, we're very confident in the rollout that we're doing. We're doing very incremental rollouts. So, we have an exclusive deal with Ace. They're the ones who helped us launch the product. So
that ties into that question right there. Where's the best place to buy it right now? Blues Hog charcoal.
So right now that's going to be Ace Hardware. So it's in Ace distribution coast to coast. it is not going to. That does not mean it's going to be in every Ace store, unless it is a Westlake Ace. Those are the ones who normally will have kind of the same product all the way across the board. All the rest of these Ace stores are more or less kind of independents. They're part of this conglomerate, but they're privately owned. So I need y'all's help to go in there, request the products. They're available online. You can sit down and order them right now online. They'll deliver to your store if they don't already have them in stock. If you go online on Ace and you just look up, the Blues Hog product line, it'll automatically come up. If it's available in the store, it'll tell you. If it's not, it'll let you order it. It's going to be kind of a little pain, because, we've got to go in, and that's what my mission is right now, is I'm going to all these Ace stores, and telling them what we're doing, making sure that they understand the products are available and asking them to bring the product in. I have no doubt if the product's there, it'll sell. I have no doubt that once customers get a hold of the product and use it one time, they'll continue to use that product. I'm going to make one visionary statement right now. A lot of the pricing that you've seen probably over the last 6 months is going to change on every brand that you see out there right now. Our pricing right now is going to stay where it's at. We've already made an agreement all the way until the end of the year. You're not going to see any price jumps on our products in Ace stores. But I can guarantee you that a lot of these other brands are going to be forced to make price increases. So, like I said, if you see
what your gut feeling on that one? I mean, what do you think is changing in the industry that gives you that just kind of feels that's where, am I not going to back up to Lowe's at Memorial Weekend and get a pallet of Kingsford for $9.99? What's going on? Tell me, come on.
Kingsford's always going to be able to. You're going to have that brand, and your rollout. Holiday specials are always going to be there. On some of these other brands that some people have been used to buying, especially your audience right now, just because now they don't have a reason to be very competitive with other like products, they're going to make them increase their margins. Just simple bottom line deal. So for me, I'm going to feel very comfortable because my product all of a sudden is going to be a very economical product compared to, and my quality is going to be second to none.
The quality of Blues Hog charcoal. I mean, I've been using it for probably 6 months now. It's amazing. The lump charcoal. Can you talk about the differences in, like you got the hog logs right now. You have the briquettes, right, and you have the lump. What type of, we all have different type of cookers, different type of smokers. Right. Does one benefit the other right now that you know of?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. So people who don't know Tim Shear is the guy who owns this company. He owns Blues Hog. He owns Gateway. Gateway and the Blues Hog charcoal are synonymous with each other in the KCBS world, especially if you get outside of Texas. Every contest you'll go to, you'll see a ton of Gateway cans, and everybody will have Blues Hog charcoal. And so basically, what they like to see is that Blues Hog running in those drums. They seem to run the best. You get plenty of airflow, and those machines are designed to run at 300 degrees.
We're talking lump right now? Lump?
Yeah, on your lump charcoal. And so really and truly, on that lump product, it's great for cans. It's going to be great for all-around cooking if you want to. If you want to do uncontrolled cooks in a Weber grill or whatever, that's fine. You still have a lot of wood element in there, so it tastes like you're grilling. Once you move to the briquette is going to be synonymous with what? SCA cook-offs, chicken cookers. Everyone kind of relates that to grilling hamburgers and hot dogs and open grilling cooking. And that's where they do the best, out there. Then we move into this hog log, which the hog log originally was designed to be a product that helped you in a stick burner. So every time you put a stick of wood in there, You throw a couple of those logs in there, and it would increase your cook time, on there. Now we have guys that are running those things 100%. That's all they're using, and they're only using one little wood chunk, to give it that wood essence, as far as in an offset smoker.
In a stick burner. Real. Wow.
Exactly. So to be real honest, for that, I think a lot of people are going to find a lot of new opportunities to use those hog logs. I got a little C4, the little M Girl C4 that I like to cook the like steaks on for SCA. And, I only need like 4 hog logs in there, and I can do my whole steak cook, but I have to light them all the way. And I mean, those dudes just get super, super hot. But I think that most everybody's going to find a way to be able to use this product. What we've done on both the briquettes and on that hog log is it's a 14.5-pound bag. So we thought that a 10-pound bag was going to be too small. We didn't want to be in a 17.6 like everybody else has. And we definitely didn't want to do a 30-pound bag. Can
you see that question?
What's that one? I don't see the questions. I still see it. Chris Cannon.
So you're saying Blues Hog lump is best for all drums, correct? I will say yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I would say yes. And, and one of the things too is you got to look extremely hard to find any foreign objects in this stuff. We really screen this extremely well. We take pride in what we do. You got to look at, Tim Shear uses this product all the time. He's won more reserve grands than anybody I know on the planet. But again,
reserve grands.
Hey, well, he's a guy who says if you ain't first, you're last, but he's had a very, very solid reserve grand run for the last 2 years. But, you have a lot of guys in the game right now that really trust their cooks and these big KCBS cooks with Blues Hog charcoal, cooking in these gateway drums. And, it's just ridiculous, but like I said, it's a great product.
Previous stop, you had a charcoal company that used their brand power to venture into sauces, rubs, glazes, things like that. Now you've got a company that, people recognize the company really for just a remarkable sauce, right? And you've got a line, of rubs. And so how has that transition been, being able to get somebody to understand that Blues Hog is a barbecue brand, not a sauce brand?
It's still a little bit of a battle, I guess. People get it, but it is because forever it was just sold as the Blues Hog sauce. That was first and foremost what everybody was known for. Now we're transitioning more into a well-rounded barbecue products company, and people are getting it, and like I said, and that's one of the nice things. And that's why I felt so comfortable, expanding this charcoal line. They had a really nice, that lump product already, but expanding into this other charcoal lines, it was so easy because especially when you're dealing with, big box stores later on down the line, when you can have a full family of products, it's a lot easier to sell the whole line, or at least give them pieces of it. The other thing too for us is, when I left B&B, I kind of had a deal where I was just kind of in a funny place because I didn't know how people were reacting because I wasn't B&B anymore and this, that, and the other. But now with Blues Hog, it gave me an opportunity because I was like, dude, I don't even have to talk to you about charcoal. We're good on, seasoning sauce side of the family. That's all good. Now that we're trying to make these moves, I definitely want to get back in there and, we want to win people back over on charcoal. Now we are literally a family company. So it's a family company. It's a small company. We're not a big conglomerate. This is deja vu for me, kind of when we went into B&B at the time. It was a small company, we barely, if you got outside of the county, hardly anybody knew who the brand was. That's kind of where I feel today, except we've got a big leg on it because we already have a well-established brand, the Blues Hog brand, so it's a very easy transition for us right now. Again, we're jumping off in this deal. And, you are going to start to see Blues Hog everywhere. You're going to start seeing this charcoal everywhere. It's not a gimmick product. It's a solid product. I already knew what we had to build in order to be a player in this game. So, we've got the products right now.
You got people commenting some good things about yourself, Joey. You're not
well, I appreciate that.
But Joey is like, no one knew what B&B was until you came along. Take a Blues Hog to the top as well, Joey. That was Brian Fox. He's behind you. Compete Barbecue. He's like, I have to say, Joey's passion when he talks about this stuff is awesome. You're always going to sell better when you believe in the product. And you definitely do. And Hector, he's like Gateway Drum Smokers.
Yeah.
So Blues Hog is not only, just charcoal. Obviously, we know it's a sauce deal. Case just talked about that. They also have Gateway drums. So you're a part of all of this. And so talk about, not so much a challenge, but talk about the excitement about coming in to this kind of organization that has already kind of started their rise into the thing. And now they bring somebody along like yourself that is a player in the barbecue world, not only now, but you've been it for at least 3 years, going to all these. Not only are you at contests, you're at city events. You're just talk about your excitement as far as joining Blues Hog and what they have to offer as far as this whole barbecue line.
Yep. No, when I had the opportunity to work with Tim and with Mark Bayless, before I had exited, B&B, I had Mark come up with us, and he came and cooked with us up in Vegas at one of the big trade shows, and we got conversations going on there, and, we'd see each other at trade shows and that type of deal. And it was just such a cool vibe, from these guys, they're just kind of kick back, and, it just, you have to meet them one time to understand that these guys are they're good as gold, and you kind of understand, what they're about. They're in the game, so they're competitors, but at the same time, they want to be good businessmen, but they still want to have the best product. Every product that's out there, it represents, Tim. That's how I look at it. So that was an easy deal. When I saw the opportunity there to jump on board with Tim and with the whole group, because we actually have a pretty good group, as well as, we're National Barbecue or the Barbecue League. So we have that whole deal with the channel and, being able to create content, and, I get to still go, to these events, and I get to, now we're doing these meet the pitmaster deals, and we've got all kinds of stuff coming on the horizon. But again, and that got me to bring, Suarez with me, Mark Suarez, our videographer. I've been working with Mark for a couple of years, and, and he was just kind of a perfect fit, for us. And like I said, I've got Mark out right now. He's out with Brad Lininger, doing some live events this weekend. And, we'll be at SCA next weekend. We've got we got a lot on our schedule fixing to come up. And but the main thing is we'll be at the Shed. We're going to be running out to the Shed this year for their SCA cook-off. And it was important for me to drop this briquette before all the SCA deals. I ain't going to lie to you. I want to chase that market. I think we have a good enough product for that market. And so, like I said, look for us at SCA events, because we'll be there.
Awesome. We got a couple questions. Chris Cannon, would you run the hog logs or briquettes in a vault, in a vertical type smoker?
Honestly, I think that you're going to be probably safe just staying on your briquette deal, just like Victor and them like you to run briquettes in there. I think that that's going to be the best solution for you. I would play with the hog log and see what it is, but in my experience, the briquettes will wind up doing a better job for you. And the briquette that we have now it's not the biggest one in the game, but it's a pretty big briquette. So you have a lot more surface area, I guess, than any other briquette out there right now. So it's going to take a little bit of running on. I haven't been able to run them in a vault yet, But I think that everybody's going to really like that result in them.
That's still made with hickory in that?
So these have a 15% hickory dust in them.
Yep.
So it's like a sawdust that's basically in there. It's a hickory base. And like I said, for me, it's a little bit more subtle. It's more like pecani than it is hickory. Sometimes hickory is a little too strong for me. But I'm very, very happy with it.
All right. Manuel Moreno, is Blues Hog going to make is going to do mini logs for us offset guys?
We've talked about it. The wood game it's a hard game to get into, especially when we're based out in St. Louis and, in that area. So if we would get into that game, it'll be later down the line. We have a really, really great wood chunk that's super clean, hand cut. It's probably going to be some of the nicest ones you're going to get a hold of. I think that with the charcoal products that we have right now and with the wood products that we have just in those chunks, you may get away with it. But I mean, for the guys who really depend on sticks, I mean, it's just like, Fred Robles, he's one of those guys that, we have to have some sticks for, running jambos and that type of deal. Granted, with a good coal bed, you only need a couple sticks. So, there may be some other solutions out there later. Right now, I don't have one, but not to say that we won't have one for 22.
All right. Hey, Joe, we could talk all night. We've already been.
No, we're good, man.
I promised Case we would do an hour, and now we're an hour and a half plus.
Yeah.
But
no,
we still have much to talk about.
I think they're trying to sabotage my cook-off this weekend.
No, we have much to talk about with Joey Machado because we haven't even talked about the sauce. We kind of touched on it, the sauce line and the can line, the gateway drums. So I'm excited to talk about more with Joey Machado. We'll get him on probably another month or so if Joey agrees to come back on. We appreciate that. But Joey, last couple questions. Case, you have a question for Joey before we let him go?
No, I had the big one, man. Like I said, the Blues Hog brand is something that I recognize from a sauce standpoint. Obviously, being in Buc-ee's, I know is a big deal. I'm a huge fan of barbecue sauces that come in plastic bottles that you can squirt.
Yes.
I'm just saying. But I will tell you the bottle design for Blues Hog is absolutely fantastic. I know we had a lot of charcoal talk, but outside of world-class brands that come in squirtable sauce bottles, what's the thought process, man? That's a cool design.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you,
sorry, I'm a pellet guy. You know this. The charcoal talk is tough for me because I'm a pellet guy.
Hey, you know what? The pellet game is it's a very valid game. We 100% know that. The deal with the squeeze bottles. I have to say that that's probably been one of the products that everybody has loved the squeeze bottle. But again, this is coming from Tim Shear. This is what he does. I mean, that he hasn't really competed these last 2 years like he has previously, but his he's a comp cook, so he's looking for all those solutions, and he's thinking like a cook for cooks, and that was his baby. And like I said, they are rolling out. We have kind of an exclusive deal on those for some locations where they're at right now. They will be available in more locations in about a month, and you'll start to see them in more specialty stores and that type of deal because everybody's been going nuts over them.
I have a Buc-ee's one exit away, so I'm good.
Perfect.
Joey, I just want to give a shout out to you. Thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for not wearing a hat. Look at that salt and pepper game.
I just got a haircut today. So.
Ryan Fox, he made a comment that Joey was bringing the salt, the S&P, probably a little garlic in there, I'm sure.
All the sweet things he said about the charcoal just washed away with the salt and pepper comments.
No, and I know Joey's a big disc golf cooker, or not cooker, but disc golf player.
I know.
He's been doing it. he was in the freeze in the snow and ice playing disc golf. So lots more to talk about with Joey Machado, and we'll get him back on because we got to talk about Sauce. We got to talk about Gateway Drums.
We're gonna have to get you a Blues Hog background. Craig's got it tied up over there.
That's going to be a little complicated. So I have a contract and everything.
He ain't talking to you.
No, I'm gonna have to put it
He ain't talking to you, Case.
I'll call Craig right now and tell him it's okay.
He's talking to me. Joey Machado, thank you very much for coming on the show,
thank
man.
You guys.
We appreciate you, and we'll be looking for Blues Hog charcoal products. You're like you mentioned earlier, all the Ace Hardware stores, you can find that. A lot of your barbecue specialty stores. Joey is big time pushing that here and all over Texas. But hopefully, I'm sure you'll be expanding throughout Texas. Kansas City, I know they're big time in that. But anyway, wherever you can find, if you want to know more about Blues Hog products, how can they get a hold of you, Joey Machado?
Just reach out to me on my Facebook. Shoot me a message. Go follow me on TikTok. Come on.
And we have TikTok to talk about, man.
Oh yeah. We do, because I have some really cool people that we're going to start doing some stuff with, and
you and Butters are TikTokers.
Hey Joey, can we schedule this another month from now?
Yes, sir. Anytime. Right. You just let me know.
All right, we got him back. Because there's still more to talk about with Joey Machado. Hey, Joey, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you big time, bro.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all be good.
We will.
See you, brother.
All right, there he was, Joey Machado from Blues Hog Charcoal. That's kind of what we talked about today, Blues Hog Charcoal. Man, we could talk to him all day long. Case, I know I told you you were going to leave about 41 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But Lee was an amazing interview. Joey was an amazing interview. This has been fun, man. This has been a fun show.
Absolutely. Even going back to Joey's show, we have a lot of fun on the show. We had a lot of fun with both the interviews tonight and getting on some different topics. But for people that are relatively new, I think there's a lot of great takeaways and people that, there's two gentlemen on tonight that have made waves in the barbecue world. And Joey's a fantastic cook too, but barbecue's become an industry and a career. And then with Lee, it became something that he is making some money at. And so there's avenues. But one of the things that I always go back to when it comes to Joey, and I think Lee would agree, Joey always talks about the barbecue as a barbecue family. And he's a true ambassador to the sport of barbecue, but not just from a competition side. Whether he's out supporting restaurants, whether he's out, the community is more than just competition cooks. And Joey truly is a great ambassador to not just the sport, but barbecue as a whole for the entire country, not just a Texas thing.
All right. Thank you, Case. Thank you, Joey. We cannot end the show without talking about last weekend. We had a great event for the Champions Barbecue Alliance. It was at the Tomball VFW. Lots of great people involved with the Tomball VFW, and I'm going to mention them right now. Candy Baines and her crew. Hold on, I got to get my notes here.
Top 16.
What's that?
Top 16? What are we doing here?
No, we're not doing top 16. But I got to give a shout out to the Tomball VFW, Candy Baines and her crew. I got to give another shout out to Tom and Belle Clark with the Tomball VFW, Commander Sean Ellis with the Tomball VFW. They had an amazing event for the CBA. This was our third. We call it a test run, but this was like the legit first ever CBA event. Shout out to our CBA event representative, Laura Caldwell and her crew. I know she had Fred Robles was there. Paul Whitaker was there. Bill Purvis was there. Vanessa Purvis, Diana Rocha. We had a star. I was there. Kevin Caldwell was there.
I was not there because it was an invitation only because I saw a phone call at an invitational, so I didn't get an invite.
This was not an invitational. Everybody was open to attend, but I give a shout out to our crew. The CBA had an amazing event. We had 30 teams, we had 30 teams show up at the Tomball VFW. And let's go over some events, some results. We're going to go to the bull printing, wraps, and graphics wrap-up recap for last weekend at the Tomball VFW. And we will go over, Case, the top 2 in each category. Chicken, Race Crew Barbecue, Jason Sagmiller with a second-place chicken. And Texas Grill Billies, that is Jeremy Nippa, a first-place chicken. We're going to go over ribs. That was Damn If I'm Poe, Adam Martinez, and 360 Barbecue. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but 360 Barbecue had first place ribs. And then we're going to go over pork. This is where I finished last week. Didn't do it again this week. But 2 heads are better than 1. That's Jamie Roby and Tammy Roby cooking together. And our friend Kevin Caldwell, Holy Smoke Cookers, first place.
Kevin was going to make sure that he got it called out this week after you skipped him and only did top 2 last week. He said, you know what? I have a fix for this.
And he did. He had a first place pork. Congratulations, Kevin. And in brisket, James, he's watching earlier. Brothers Keeper Barbecue, second place brisket. Race Crew Barbecue with a big ass first place brisket. Woo. So we will call out the top 10 overall at the CBA event in Tomball, Texas. In 10th place was War Pig Barbecue. 9th place, Shut Up and Smoke. That is Robert Smith's wife, Carissa. 2 Live Q, John Segura. 7th place was JC's Good Old Boys, Tom and Belle Clark. 6th place, 2 heads are better than 1. That is Jamie and Tammy Roby. 5th place, El Chingon Cookers, Omar Charles. 4th place, lost his dad this week. Shout out to First Class Barbecue, Mr. Robert Smith. He had a tough week cooking. He did a great job. 4th place overall. 3rd place, Bighorn Cookers. And the reserve grand champion was Adam Martinez, Damn If I'm Poe, and the GC. Case, give us a woo.
Woo!
There it was. Jason Sagmiller, Race Crew Barbecue. Sorry it took so long to get to this, but I can't express what a great job that Candy and her crew at the Tomball VFW did, and Laura Caldwell and her crew did for CBA. It was just a great event all around. No hiccups, no problems. It was just a great event. So we are ready to roll. I say we because I am a part of the CBA, and we are open for business. If you would like to sanction an event with us, you're welcome to do that. You can email me. You can email me here at the show, and we'll figure that out and get you set up. So I didn't even talk about Joey. Joey's the director of development for the CBA. So lots to talk about with Joey Machado next month when he comes back on. Case, speak.
No, fantastic job. Great job. A lot of fun. Watched the awards last weekend. Sam Houston State kicked off football with a win, and so spring football. And so we were up in Huntsville watching football. So
look at Anthony. We used to get top 10. Now we get top 5. Now top 2.
Yeah. Trust me. Depending on if I have any top 10s in Sinton this weekend, we will cover up to top 10 if necessary. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I've got a busy night of loading. It's meat prep Thursday at my house, and so this was kind of an unplanned thing, kind of sprung on me last minute, and it's probably best that I don't overthink too much and go enjoy cooking Sinton and see what happens this weekend. If you are going to be in Sinton, stop by and say hello, and I'll be at the Cooks meeting tomorrow night, and looking forward to seeing some cooks. It's just north of Corpus Christi. It's a little farther south than I prefer to travel, just because anytime I go that general direction, I get my ass kicked. So it may happen again. So we'll see.
Case, you know what you're doing, man. Good luck to you. I can't wait to hear how you did, and we can't wait to Call your name out, because even if you are 16th place, like
I'm just going to tell everybody it was
we're going to call that out. I was 16th. If Kevin's still watching, he was 17th, so that's good.
So overall, even though you had that first place call, you consider yourself overall the better cook?
I don't consider myself. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Kevin, you know who loves you? IBCA. We would love you. So
anyway, all right, guys. That's going to wrap up the show for the So Smokin' Gooder Show, episode 60, whatever. I don't care anymore. I think Case is over that. He's been over that after 12 or so. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Lee Hickel with Redmule's Badass Barbecue. Best of luck in your East Coast tour. Thank you to Joey Machado with Blues Hog. That was a lot of interesting knowledge that he threw out there with charcoal. And we can't get him back to talk about sauce and drums and being director of development for the CBA. Lots to talk about with him still. Thank you guys for for sticking with us. We're almost 2 hours in. We feel like another show, right, Case?
Yeah, hour number 2. But we had way more viewers. I can tell you, we're talking about the Barbecue Central show. No one watches.
Shut up, dude. Shut up. No, stop.
Oh, I am. And so, no, Rob doesn't want to make. That being said, if you haven't made plans for towards the end of March, I think it's the 19th and 20th, let's field that cook-off for the Texas Chrome Foundation and Joey Smith and the barbecue store, Dustin Stanley. If they're looking for help, if you can reach out, be a tasting judge, be a part of a fantastic event, and let's try to fill that parking lot up. Like I said, Carrie and I reached out. We paid entry fee for somebody. If that's something that's on your list, reach out to Joey or Dustin, send it to them, and let's put some cooks out there. Whatever it takes to fill that parking lot, have a fantastic event. Pick your acronym. I don't care. Just go cook barbecue and have fun.
All right, since Phil Breeden is still watching, the legend, Phil Breeden, one of our very first guests that showed up unannounced, which was awesome. We're going to play his clip right now. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
All right, that's
anything to get you in 2 hours. He's filling the gaps up now.
No, we're not going 2 hours. Shout out to everybody that's watching. We appreciate you guys. We can't do this without you, and it's amazing. You guys are still sticking with us right now. We had 50 people watching today, which is awesome. I watched some other shows, and we're doing a great job. Case, let's wrap this up, man. Close this out.
Absolutely. Hope to see some people down the barbecue trail this weekend. If not, catch you next time. Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Texas, we're almost open. And good night, Barbecue Nation. You too, California.
All right, we're out. Late.